friends, today we're honored to have with us Mr. Vinay Mudaliar, who's the founder of Mindcox, is a trailblazer who makes learning interactive and fun, and he's conducted over 2,500 plus quizzes in over 75 plus cities across India. Sir, it is a privilege to have here with you us today.
Thank you.
Let me start by asking you, this is the first time that you've come to Lahartara.
Correct.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how is the excitement level? How have you liked the school and everything that has happened?
Maybe I'll give it 1,000 on 10.
Oh.
So the excitement is huge here.
Huh.
Wonderful campus, wonderful hospitality by everyone, and the thirst for learning is shown by everyone, from the teachers to the students to. I think this is the only quiz festival
Yeah.
run by a school. So we generally have seen quiz festivals by major IITs and colleges, but a school having a quiz festival of this standard is really, really commendable. And I was like shocked when I entered the auditorium today, and the respect given to all the quiz masters, and from the legendary quiz masters who started off from Mr. Siddharth Bastu to youngsters. I see photos across. So you're treating quiz masters like gurus of
Yes.
this. Like celebrities, I think you're treating quiz masters. So I think Sunbeam looks at quizzing at a very, very high standard. It was very nice to be here, and thank you once again to the entire group for inviting me.
Yeah, because in Sunbeam, what happens is that we look at quizzing as some of a lifestyle, and we really appreciate that lifestyle because then it has gone on to like it has concluded generations, and that has proved to be a very vital component of the school. Ma'am, about you, are you a very like big quiz enthusiast yourself?
Yeah, I also used to quiz in my school days.
Oh, all right.
Both of us are actually law graduates. So we have that built-in, thirst for research, thorough research.
Okay.
And that is what we apply to our quizzes as well. And I wanted to create an impact with students, which is why after graduating, I joined him straight away.
Yeah. So I'm sure that school must have been the starting point of
Yes.
this whole journey for you. So did you decided in school itself that you were going to become somewhat of a quiz master, or
No.
did you stumble upon it later in life?
So I've been quizzing since 6th standard in school. So I'm from Bangalore, so we used to quiz there. And school quizzing was huge there in Bangalore. So we started from 6th standard participating quizzes and kept on participating. Then we are winning quizzes. Slowly started with high school, and then I went into law. So studied law. So law is a 5-year course. That's where the passion even grew, because for 5 years, what more to do than this one? So I traveled across the country participating in various fests and winning. So the passion kept on growing in law school, and that's when I met other quiz masters, and the passion kept growing, seeing how it can be a profession.
Yes.
But then I worked for 2 years in the law field in Aditya Birla Group as a legal counsel after I graduated, and then said, okay, let's follow my passion, and then I quit that job to become a quiz master. So I saw the likes of Siddharth Basu and Giri Balasubramaniam. Those are mentors of our generation. So saw them, how can it be a profession? So that's how I came into the profession of quizzing.
So was there any certain particular turning point, or did
Yes,
it
yes,
happen?
yes, yes. So there was a turning point. So like I said, 2 years I was working with Aditya Birla as a legal counsel. So as a lawyer, you are quite stressed. It's a 12-hour job, 13-hour job. So you work on various aspects, and Bangalore is known for its notorious traffic.
Exactly.
So during traffic, you get these moments in your mind where you say, okay,
It revolved around
let's
that.
not do this more in life.
Yes.
So that's what happened on my cab ride one day, where I was handling our company, part of Aditya Birla Group, was
Oh,
getting acquired. So as a legal team, you are in the main aspect of acquisitions. So these are things you might not know now. You'll learn later on in when you grow up. So acquisitions, we were getting acquired. That's a huge thing where you need to stay work in office till 4 a.m., 5 a.m. And it was a very good experience of getting being part of an acquisition. But that in the back end started saying, okay, will I need to do this my rest of my life? And so passion, I was kept on quizzing, still kept on quizzing, conducting small quizzes in schools and other things. So then I said, okay, how do I leave this career and come to the quiz career? So that's when the cab journey was one moment. Bangalore traffic is where many startups are grown in Bangalore. So it's with the Bangalore traffic. So many will, I didn't know that when they watch this podcast. So Bangalore traffic was the pinnacle point where I thought, okay, I need to change. So I even messaged her, so saying I need to think how to change my course. Then I obviously met my cousin also has been a quiz master, so Vinay Mudaliar. Then I met Giri Subramaniam. So I asked them just how do we shift. So they sort of guided me, and then okay, my first aim was when I become a quiz master was obviously impacting students, doing all those things that I was already doing as a freelancer in schools, small schools in Bangalore. But the main aspect when you these are days 11 years back. So this is 11 years back. The startup culture was not that huge like how it is right now. So my first this one was how do I get back my salary? So because that you need to convince parents that time. Now parents know about the startup culture and everything. So when it was 11 years, 12 years back, leaving a lucrative law job to come to a quizzing industry. So that was my only thing when I said to my parents that somehow I'll get my salary back. I will do it. So that's when they gave the, like I said, because they already knew I was very independent as a quizzer. So that is one thing quizzers all know in India. Even all your Sunbeam quizzers, your alumni. Quizzers generally become independent because we start winning a lot of prize money. So that money makes us independent. So we start not asking parents our money. So that's what even my parents said, okay, he's been winning so much quizzes. Maybe he will do well as a quiz master. So that's the push came, and that's how I quit. Immediately gave my papers the next day and resigned. Gave a 1 month notice and resigned.
Do you ever regret it?
No, never, never regretted. Though I do watch YouTube, lot of the streaming of the high courts and the Supreme Courts. So it's I highly recommend students who want to join law to watch these live proceedings which happen on the Supreme Court and high courts. So that is a wonderful place if you want to join law. So I still do watch it sometimes here and there to see these respected lawyers what they're doing. But otherwise, I don't miss law at all.
Has it been the same for you, ma'am, or are you still in the law profession?
No, I also joined him right after graduation. I did work for a little bit,
Yeah.
but I wanted to join him as soon as possible. So.
Oh, that is good. So have there been any certain role models that you had or any aspirations you growing up?
Yes.
Alright.
You want in the cuisine industry or generally?
No, as in general. apart
General,
from the
like
cuisine.
yeah. So like you asked in your previous, was it from school days? School days, I always wanted to become a cricketer. So Sachin Tendulkar was my huge idol and still is. So I always wanted to played cricket till college as well. Played club cricket, played school cricket. But I think those days getting into the cricket industry was very tough. It's not like now where there's IPL and other things. So a lot of aspects were there to very difficult aspects to get into cricket. So that died down. So quizzing took a main stage. This one. So Tendulkar has always been a bigger idol over the years. In the quizzing industry, like I said, that Basu, Derek O'Brien. Derek O'Brien more because Derek O'Brien had a very huge school quiz called the Bonvita Quiz Contest. So that was something which everyone watched on Sundays. So that was something everyone, and he used to do this Maggie quiz and other ways which used to come to school, and that time quizzing was a completely different thing than what's nowadays. So it was very exciting, very new, so very refreshing. And when you see somebody like Derek doing it, so he was, I think, for many of the 90s children, we are all 90s children. Derek O'Brien has been the main, Siddharth Basu as well. So Siddharth Basu was more into television shows, but Derek was more direct to the schools. So we used to see Derek O'Brien as the main aspect. And then later on, as I became more middle school and high school, then Giri Balasubramaniam, who is very well known for doing the Tata Crucibles and the TCS quizzes, he became more a role model to get into this one. And as well, my cousin as well also was a quizzer. So that ran in the family of quizzing. So that's how those role models came in.
Yes, I agree. So now Mindcrux, has grown into such a massive phenomenon. How did it all start? Was there also any certain turning point for that? And
Correct.
There was. And
Yes,
what were some of the challenges that you faced in the whole process of building it?
Okay, a lot of challenges were there. So good questions, really good questions you're asking. So how it became, so like I said, the first few months of me quitting my job and becoming quiz master, main focus was to get the salary back. So as much as possible doing quizzes, workshops, very less money, do whatever quizzes you can. Start, whoever wants to become a quiz master, that's what I always say, the first 2 years will be challenging, because you need, in the quizzing industry, name is very important to get the name out. So people should know about you, schools should know about you, so it takes time, at least 2 to 3 years. So those 3 years, you can say, were quite challenging to get quizzes. And one thing is, that time I was very young, so quizzing is technically, before, was a middle age to above quiz masters only were in the main quizzing forte. It's us, actually, we are, me and some other peers were one of the few youngest quiz masters to come in at the age of just 23, 24. So I was the youngest quiz master to do the CBSE heritage quiz that time, way back in 2013. So before, it was done by many bigger quiz masters. So that time, these journeys, you take up these important quizzes, and that's how it grew. So after 2, 3 years of doing more quizzes, that's when I think the Mindcog's name came to many schools. So the associations of getting schools is the main task, and that's what I always tell to who want to become a quiz master. The first 3 years is very important to get your name out, and that's when you grow as you go. And challenges, like I said, a lot of challenges were there to get this, because everyone will not take such a young quiz master at a very young age, 23. They will not this one, but there were schools, so they saw the different, because I bought in slightly more different rounds. My rounds are quite a different, innovative rounds.
More interactive.
Yeah, very interactive. So that I bought in my quizzes to make it more engaging. So that teachers, principals of that era started liking it, as in the not era, but 10 years back. So that became this one hit with many schools. So that's what I started getting invited to many schools to get this new type of quizzing out. That's how it was.
So was it a collective idea? Did both of you
Yes,
come
yes.
up?
So she was always the right hand,
Okay.
the operational part. I was
Yes.
the host, as in the main quiz
Yes.
master. So she has always been the operational part of doing the entire thing. So she handles the back end. So generally her name is not there on the front. So, but the back end is more important than
Yeah, I agree.
the front. So that's how it is. So she's been there. She came along only after 2 years of Mindcog,
Because
but
I was still in college.
yeah.
Oh.
So, but she is always contributing with the content and helping around with other aspects as well.
If it not had been Mindcox for you, then what career or any other path that you could have taken up? What had you planned?
I was more interested in international arbitration, international law,
right.
public international law. So I was looking at postgraduate probably in that, and then pursuing a career in that.
Alright.
But I don't know. After you finish 5 years of law, many
Yeah.
things change in your life.
I
So this was the opportunity that I felt at that moment
You
was
take
the
it.
best for me, and I wanted to kind of contribute to children more. If anybody wants to pursue law, when you go to a law school, you'll realize that it's a very I can say it's a very selfish field.
Yeah, it's a very sophisticated.
It's very
thing.
it's for your own sake that you're
Yeah.
doing. It's only in a later part of your life that you will go for more
I agree.
pro bono cases or something like that. Initially it's always like that, and it's a very cutthroat field.
Yeah.
Not everybody can survive.
Yeah, you have to really make your way through it.
Yeah. And when I worked practiced little bit, that time is when I realized that I don't want to do this. I want to make my own contribution in my own way. So
Okay.
which is why I left that and I joined.
How do you both of you think that the whole 4 to 5 years in the whole law background has helped your your whole impact in the quizzing space right now?
Correct. That's good question. So being a lawyer, so in 5 years you need to do internships. So I've done close to 10 internships with various companies. So, and then obviously worked with Aditya Birla Group. So the corporate life helps you be more streamlined, how to approach things. Knowing about law also helped us in setting up our company more easily. So you know all those aspects. So others might have to obviously hire a lawyer, but we're doing it our own because we already know the law part of it. So, but the law industry teaches you many things, especially how to do paperwork. Paperwork is something the law industry, the lawyers, the advocates are very particular, because courts have a very systematic approach of things. So that has helped us in quizzing field as well, because when we do a quiz, we are very systematic with everything. So our technical, so we do a test run, dry run. So it's very this one systematic. Our content is done. So we go like step by step, like how we would do in a case, when you argue a case or when you do a contract. It's a very systematic approach.
Yes.
That has taught us from the law field. That is very important, and how to be professional when you work with big companies.
Yes.
So especially the legal team comes just below the CEO. So the legal team is like almost like you know the board of directors, you know the CEO. Like I said about the acquisition,
Yes.
so you will know everyone from the managing director. So at a young age, you will be meeting such high level positions. So you'll know how to write emails, how to meet people, how this etiquette comes. So always when I tell quizmasters, as in quizzes in schools, they say, I want to become like you, sir, quizmaster. I say, work for a year, 2 years at
Yes,
least in
yes.
some corporate, know about things,
Yeah.
because all these things will help you later on. How to be professional, how to write emails. That's something very important. We learnt in law. Emails, how to write letters, how to write memos.
Yeah.
These are all something very important, which is not taught in schools. So that's what we also do sometimes when we go to schools. We tell children how to do these things, because these are something very important.
Stand apart.
So it makes you stand.
Exactly.
So now, like, your internships are when you go to, not only in law field, internships are very important in many fields. So when you send across emails, there are thousands of students sending across emails, but you need to be crisp, smart, how to write it.
Yeah.
So that writing
How you put
skills,
forward your
writing
points,
skills,
yes.
and like she said that time, research skills.
Yes.
That is the main thing which law field, since I'm already a quizzer since school, but law field's research is even more in depth. So you'll know how to do your research even more. So this research of quizzing, research of law, that merger has happened, and that's how it has helped us. So I don't regret doing law. So
Yes.
obviously, because
because it helps you.
it not so doing law. So like how everyone tells how you connect the dots in your life.
Yeah, that is-
So law field obviously helped me in becoming more a quizzer. I met my wife also there.
Yes. Yeah,
And
something very good.
so there are a lot of things this one. So you never know what happens later on,
Yeah.
because many children, okay, they'll say I'll do engineering, but in the middle they will lose hope.
Yeah.
But you never know later on how that will help
Yeah,
you. So always complete your graduation, whatever you have taken up, and then follow your passion.
Yeah, be it any profession that may not be your passion, the thing, if it's based in corporate, really helps you in whatever
Correct.
other thing that you're going to follow.
Correct.
So also you've traveled to at least over 75
Yes,
cities, and you've conducted like thousands of quizzes. So like, how is it like? Could you tell us some of the most memorable experiences that you've had, and have you accompanied him to all of those quizzes, and how has the experience been for you?
Right. So from starting, she's been accompanying later on, as in not in the starting. Like I said, as a junior quizmaster, there's no budget for getting another this one. Budget comes only later on when you become slightly more famous. So in the starting, I was going alone and handling everything. So 75 cities, like I said, many memorable moments have been there. Many are there. So I did a first thing which comes to my mind was a huge quiz which I did in Muscat, in Oman in 2019. So there was an audience of 5,000 in the biggest amphitheater in Muscat.
Wow.
So an amphitheater in the night quiz. It was a night quiz. It's 5,000 people. So you'll never see this audience for a quiz. It was like a rock concert. So I was like a rock star in the middle of the stage, spreading knowledge. So that was one thing, huge moment of my quizzing career, is doing a quiz for 5,000 people in the audience, and huge quiz it was. And plus it was also a place where my father worked many years back in Muscat. So it was nice, like I've never been there. It was my first time. So it was nice, you can say, homecoming for me. That's what I said on stage as well there. So that was a huge moment. Then smaller moments as well. So I in the starting first year when I started as a quizmaster, 2014, there was a first school quiz, huge school quiz which I got in a very reputed school, Greenwood High School in Bangalore. So they were the top international schools right now. That time they trusted a very young quizmaster like me to curate a huge quiz on environment. So I don't know how they trusted, but somehow I convinced them to do
Yes,
that,
yes.
and it is still running one of the biggest quizzes on environment.
Oh.
From it started off with a school with only Bangalore school. So that 2014, that moment when I finished that quiz. So that
Yes.
quiz was the grand finals was hosted by the sports commentator Charu Sharma. So Charu Sharma is a sports commentator. He hosted the grand final. So meeting these people at a very young age and then getting a standing ovation for the content and doing the quiz after that quiz was a very huge turning point, because that quiz became a huge name in Bangalore. So that became like a pillar stone. Okay, Vinay Mudaliar did that quiz. So from there, that got many more quizzes for me. So I think that is a very important quiz of mine, and that's like a baby quiz. I always call it. It's like my baby. Every year I go, I say, okay, this is my quiz, and I very very specifically go do that quiz very happily. And it's an important initiative on environment. So something which was so important now, but we curated it long back in 11 years back, 10 years back. So that is one quiz.
It has been going around.
Yes,
for
it's
some
still
time.
going on. Still every year goes on, and now it's become a huge quiz where people travel across cities to come to Bangalore for that quiz. And that time it was a huge quiz, giving 1 lakh prize money at that time. So it became a huge phenomenon and still remains. So that one quiz I think made my name in the
Yes.
Bangalore quizzing industry that time. So these two I think are most memorable, you can say. Many more are there, but that will take a lot of time of the podcast.
Yes, yes.
But many more. But many of the satisfaction comes even when I go to tier 2 cities, tier 3
Yeah, right.
cities. So very nice quizzing culture, especially when I come to UP. So I've done a lot of quizzes in UP.
Yes.
Not only in Varanasi, also I've been here 2016.
Yes.
I've been to Gorakhpur, been to Kanpur.
Hmm.
A lot of enthusiasm for quizzing here in UP. I do love coming to UP for conducting quizzes. So that's been another something which comes to my mind.
I think really, I'll be honest, listening to your insights was like reading this sort of very fun and interactive quiz book, because I'm not a quizzer myself, but I'll
Okay.
only get into quizzing if it's extremely interactive. And I
Okay.
think it, like reading a quiz book that's probably also written by you.
Right.
So again, listening to your experience, I had so many more questions, but
Okay.
because time is a problem,
No problem, no
we could
problem.
not do it. But yes, it was an honor to have you today with us, as well as you. And I hope that this whole quizzing lifestyle of Sunbeam that we have tried, and I hope we get to see you next year.
Right. And about Sunbeam, concluding on this one, Sunbeam is a school which has come to most of my quizzes, and
Yes.
they win. The hunger for winning, the hunger for the competitiveness is fantastic. And it's really nice that I've come. I actually couldn't come last year. They invited me last year. I had a slip disc surgery last year, so I couldn't come. But I'm thankful to be here, and really, really wonderful again to be here. And very nice to see youngsters like you all doing podcast at a young age. What standard are you in?
9.
You're at 9th standard doing. Okay, very, very nice. And your name?
Diksha.
Diksha. Really nice to do this. Very nice questions and the way you hosted in the starting. So nice to see you doing this, and really nice to all the teachers, everyone doing such nice things at a young age. So thank you once again to the entire Sunbeam group.